Ori, you are muted. Yes.
Okay, thank you. We'll start again. So, hi everybody, and welcome to On Night New York City for a special AR startup showcase tonight. I hope you and your families are doing well. The Omicron surge is going down, and it seems that the metaverse surge is also on the way down, which I guess is a good thing. Before we get started, big shout out to the people of Ukraine. Our hearts are with you. And if you want to share your thoughts in the chat, please do. It's definitely having an impact on all of us these days. So yes, we're here on AWE Live. It was just launched a couple of months ago. And it's this online platform for the entire XR community featuring nonstop stream of online XR events like this meetup. And there's some really cool events that took place in the last few weeks. Definitely check out the Gatherverse event sessions that took place just 2 weeks ago. On nights are now running in over 27 cities around the world. And are all hosted here, so you don't need to look anywhere else to find some great XR events. And every week, we have a bunch of great podcasts, like the Smart Glasses podcast, XR at Work, This Week in XR with Charlie Fink and guests. And next week, there's a really interesting meetup with Meta Materials about 5G and its impact on the XR future. There's On Night LA, Northern XR, Istanbul, Seoul, all coming up real soon. And while you're here, definitely check out the people on this platform. It's right here on the right in the side panel. Just with one click, you can connect with people, chat, or have video calls. And you can also use the search function to find the match based on the profile criteria. So you can find people that you need to find, people that share the same, aspirations as you. It's really cool. Our motto is come for the talk, stay for the people. And coming up real soon, we have AWE USA in June in California, where we can actually meet in person after the great success of the event last November. And also coming up in Asia, if you're there or if you're able to travel in August, in Shanghai, and also we're coming back to Europe this year. We'll be in Lisbon in October. We'd love to see you there. The AWE Academy continues to run a bunch of great workshops. The next workshop is the Web AR workshop, which, if you want to learn how to harness the power of AR on the web, increase engagement, increase reach, this is a fantastic workshop with fantastic instructors. The HoloLens class is wrapping up real soon. There'll be another one later this year, so check out on the website and sign up. And for startups who want to get a boost with kind of their pitch, their fundraising strategy, getting some more connections in the industry, the fundraising prep course is the course for you. And so that's my quick intro. Now we're up for real business. We have a fantastic lineup of startups. We'll start with Kahlil Ashanti, CEO of Mantis XR, which will talk about the experiences that he's building for retail. Lynette Perkins, it looks like her flight was delayed. She's probably not going to be able to join us today, but we're crossing our fingers. Maybe she will. We also have Rob McCarthy, CEO of Illust, which will talk about a platform for AR creators and NFTs. And finally, we have Anatoly from Magic Kids, which is working on cool AR and VR games for kids. So a nice variety of startups. Prepare some questions that you can share in the chat, and let's have a great conversation. So with that said, Kahlil, if you're ready, I'm going to stop sharing, and you can start sharing. Kahlil.
Hey, Ori. How you doing, man?
Take it away, man.
All right. Hey, thanks for having me. Hey, everybody. I want to send a shout out to Rob and Anatoly. I'm in good company. They've got great products. Please definitely check them out. What we're doing is 3D immersive retail using extended reality. So I see we've got people from Brooklyn and Boston and all over, and really excited to share with you. We are a team of 7 based in Vancouver, BC. We're called Mantis XR. And you know, the thing that inspired me to create this company was I was performing magic in Japanese at Caesar's Palace. And I don't know how many of you have been to Vegas. Maybe drop it in the comments if you have. Give us a thumbs up if you've been to Vegas. But the thing that Vegas gets right is getting people to come back. And as I was stationed in Vegas in the Air Force and then performing magic in Japanese at Caesar's Palace, I realized that it's the experience. Vegas sells the experience first and the money second. And when everything went online and I gradually learned to code and build things for myself, I feel like that got lost. So our company is excited about building immersive social commerce solutions using XR, so you don't have to worry about wearables. Doesn't mean we don't like wearables. We know wearables might or might not be coming, but why can't you have fun with it anyway? So what I like to do is share my screen with you and show you exactly what we're up to. So if you guys can grab your phones, everybody grab your phones and point it at this QR code. I'm gonna leave this up here for a few minutes, just a couple seconds, and allow access to motion sensors, and then look to your left and look to your right. If you don't have your phone, don't worry. I'm gonna show it to you on the browser here. But what you see is a locker room. So I'm gonna stop sharing here, and I'm gonna share my screen once more so that you can see the locker room on desktop. So this locker room does not exist in real life. And the difference is that it's created using XR technology, and it uses the motion sensors on your device, so you can look to your left, look to your right, and you can shop. So you see we have an Inter Milan jersey, you can add it to the cart, and your cart's full, and you can check out without having to leave the space. This is not a digital twin. There were no 360 cameras required. The other thing is that you can actually shop with others. You can invite other people to shop with you. And that includes with being able to stream and have hundreds of other people come in and enjoy the locker room. We actually focus on sports technology at the moment, but there's several other verticals that this is really working well for. I see Andrea just walked in. Hey, Andrea. So, you know, we can chat, we can mix it up. If I wasn't using my camera here, I could actually stream so that when you visit this experience on your phone, you see my face in there. And Isaac has left. There's people walking in, so that's super cool. We can tap on this to make it go away. And we can also play videos. So there's all kinds of things we can do in here. We can actually add 3D objects and NFTs. But the idea being that you can navigate through this locker room using a couple of ways. There's a pre-rendered hotspots, but we also have 3D navigation. So you can use your finger on your mobile device for those different models. For this one, we actually have a menu. It just depends on what our customers like. We have paying customers around the world. We launched in October of 2020, and we're really excited to be a part of the XR conversation. So I won't talk too much longer. I know we got some other great companies that wanted to present, but thanks so much for checking us out. If you go to mantisxr.com, you can actually check this out yourself, and we can create these experiences in 10 to 14 days from Pinterest photos or floor plans or whatever you like. And we were recently selected as a top 5 startup in the US for the Stadia Ventures Sports Accelerator. So thanks again.
All right, awesome, Kahlil. Folks, if you have questions for Kahlil, please share in the chat. Kahlil, you mentioned a few names that you kind of are working for, preparing kind of environments for. What are some of the dream companies that you would love to prepare those kind of spaces for?
Oh man, NASA would be great. I love for people to see what it's like in the space shuttle. I think, we have a client in Vancouver that's a children's hospital. When children go in to have surgeries, one of the things they like to do is show them pictures of the room to help them sort of feel a little bit better about where they're going to be spending a lot of time. So being able to do that kind of stuff where it really changes people's lives. You know, we have the metaverse, we have video games, and yeah, it's fun, but we actually, you know, our dream is to be able to use this for things that really make people smile and just really warm their hearts in a world, as you said, where there's so much going on that makes you feel sad. We think these experiences can really bring people together.
That sounds great. And kind of speaking on the business model, how are you charging for these experiences? What are how are you thinking of the business model will evolve?
Well, it ties into Shopify. And so if you have a Shopify store, we use that. But in terms of the business model, it's a one-time fee or a percentage of sales. So anywhere between 10 and 15K when we work with, we have 2 Premier League teams we're under NDA with. We do sort of adjust it. Not everyone's Premier League, obviously. So it's that one-time fee plus a percentage of sales or a straight percentage of sales. The big picture for this, though, is an SDK that is almost more like Stripe. So right now, we're obviously a custom shop. We're building these one by one and allowing people to use templated rooms to insert their objects dynamically. But you know, our 4-year vision for this is for everyone to be able to have a metaverse-ready, you know, immersive experience using an SDK with a few lines of code, and you're good to go.
So can people change their rooms today? Can they, you know, if they want to add items or remove items?
That's correct. Yeah, you can actually update because we connect with whichever product pipeline you're using. So let's just use Shopify, for example. You have a new Shopify product, it updates right in the room because we do it through the API.
So, but do they need to ask you, or you're providing some kind of self-service that the actual client can make some changes on their own?
Yeah, to be honest, it depends on the comfort level of the client. You know, as somebody who writes code myself, I completely respect if you want to change it yourself, we can give you access to that. But a lot of our clients do like to have one of our customer success people do it for them with 24 hours notice. And that works really well for sports. If there's a FA Cup or a World Cup, we can change it for the holidays and make updates for you pretty quickly as well.
Very cool. So we have a question from David Rose, kind of a related question to what I asked. Can you animate or configure these panoramas?
Absolutely, you can, yeah.
So how would I be able to animate it if I want?
Well, it depends on the format you're using and what you'd like. We also have a version of this for Oculus browser. So it's a more high fidelity sort of experience. It's a lot easier for you to insert through our dashboard. When it comes to the WebXR ones, typically the animations come in chunks. So, you know, we can upload or switch out different imagery, but that's definitely something our customer experience people will do for you rather than us letting you mess around in the spaghetti of code and figure that out.
Okay, cool. David has another question, and he's asking if this would be an appropriate tool to swap a piece of furniture, for example.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can swap out a piece of furniture. You can pretty much swap out anything. We this summer, we're releasing a new feature whereby you saw that t-shirt, you'll be able to see it in 3D and be able to see it in AR as well. So we want to make it that dynamic swap out kind of a story for people to make it easier and more experiential.
Cool. And you mentioned that you're kind of moving towards kind of the fully immersive environment, kind of from the 360 panorama type that you're showing us today. Is that kind of something in the works? When do you think you'll be able to show that?
Yeah, I was going to show the prototype and I was like, I'm just too, we do have, so we're offering 2 products. We have because what you see here works really well for real estate. And what they like about it for sports real estate is that it's not a picture of an existing building. It's something that can evolve and change. So it's great for that. But we also have more of it's an actual room that we build that you can walk around in using your WASD keys and your arrow keys. And, you know, why don't I'll send you a link, Ori, once it's done. Give us about 7 weeks. And I'd love for you to see it. It's we're working on it, but it's yeah, it's going to be pretty sweet.
I'd love to see it. Any other plans for the future you want to share with us today?
Yeah, we have some doctoral research with UBC Okanagan to be able to create the world's first emotionally responsive XR experiences. So we'll be able to tell when you're smiling and update products based on that, or when you're confused and show you. So right now, we believe that commerce online, as I mentioned in my Vegas example, when everything went online, it's a one-way thing where you're just clicking and there's galleries, and you know, it's pretty much what Amazon created 25 years ago to sell books is what we're using to sell things. So we believe there's a better way, and we have some really exciting doctoral research to be able to create these emotionally responsive rooms that we think they're gonna knock your undies off. How about that?
That sounds pretty cool. I guess last question, and then we'll switch to the next speaker. Where are you guys located?
We're in Vancouver, BC.
All right. So you got your answer, David. If you have any other questions, feel free to share in the chat, and Kahlil, you can answer there, or we might have some time at the end. Thank you very much, Kahlil, for showing us your product and for participating with us, and all the best.
Thanks, Ori. I appreciate it.
All right, folks. Next, we have Rob McCarthy. How's it going, Rob?
It's going well. It's going really well, Ori. Thanks for asking. Just getting ready for a big product release, actually, this Friday, so you'll be the first ones to see it.
So Rob is CEO of Illust, and he's going to share with us his platform for AR creators and NFTs. Take it away, man.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's fine. I saw in the chat, you know, pretty much every buzzword looped into one profile in a company. So yeah, my name is Rob McCarty. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Illustrative Space. Illustrative Space was really born out of a want to be able to have a decentralized platform to be able to have open publishing of AR graphics into the world. We basically are working with mostly open source libraries in the stack to be able to do so. But then we also are using some third parties to help us serve because accessing WebXR and Apple is currently not available. So there are some opportunities to grow. But anyways, for this demo, I'm going to run you through the publishing process. So any artist, any creator, any collector, if you will, that owns an NFT that's in their crypto wallet, they can use the system to be able to go anchor it out into the world anywhere. We're not charging for virtual lands. We basically believe any profile has their own map, their own worldview, and they're able to kind of publish to their own worldview. And if people want to subscribe to that worldview, they can do so. So let's go ahead and log in. Let me make sure I'm sharing my screen too. So that'll be pretty important for the demo. All righty. Cool. So we're on the landing page here. I'm going to go ahead and log in with Web3 Wallet. So click here. I have MetaMask in my browser, so I'm able to log in. Let it think about it for a second. Cool. Sign the transaction. Based upon that, it brings me into what are called POPs. So POPs is kind of the backbone of our infrastructure. It's the idea of called proof of presence. And this is what we're actually launching on Friday at South by Southwest. So it's not live yet, but basically what this does is it creates a handshake that's on chain. So if you go to a location, you see this AR piece that's on the map. When you pop it, it basically creates a handshake between you and the publisher. So if there's any specialty offerings that the artist or musician or creator wants to be able to kind of reach out, communicate with you, or even reward you for going and seeing things in the world, they can do so through the system. And I'll show you that in a second. But let's go ahead and let's see what I got available for me to publish. So I have a couple NFTs here. We have a variation of 3D and 2D. Eventually, we're going to support audio. So here's a 3D piece that I could drop into the space. It's basically a viewer for these assets. If I want to throw a spin on it, I can do so. I kind of take a look at the reflections. We have a whole studio kit to kind of mess around with these on a more granular level, but I'm actually going to go back and select a 2D NFT because most people have, PNGs and videos. So I'm going to choose this bird over here. And I have judgment-free zone on what's in the crypto wallet. But yeah, basically, based upon what specific canvas I choose, I can be able to display this. So I'm going to turn the reflections on. It's a little washed out, but once in AR, it looks pretty nice. And this is just fun for people who are kind of new to crypto. and also 3D workflows to be able to kind of add their NFT to really any kind of place. So I'm going to go ahead and move it to the map. Once I move it to the map, right now it's set on Austin, but if I want to do Venice Beach in LA, I can just put it in here. So I'm going to drop it on location in Venice Beach, add a little description to it, and once I have all that information, I can now publish it. And by me publishing this, it's basically it's just triple checking that I have this in my wallet and that I'm the owner, and now I'm able to actually publish it. And that generates a little microsite for anyone to be able to see it out on social media, where it is, what asset it's on, where it lives in the world. The poster that comes as an NFT, specifics about it that's on the blockchain. And then if I click discover, this will actually lead you to a QR code where if you scan this, it'll actually pull up our discovery application, which again is all in the browser, to be able to go to any of these objects on the map and be able to experience. So there'll be a compass that pulls up that'll probably direct you to where I'm at in Venice Beach if you do so. But kind of bringing it to some of the stuff that's actually under the hood. So if I go to any of those locations and I pop, I get one of these tokens. And one of these tokens essentially acts as an access and permissioning token. So if I went to a concert by an artist I'm a big fan of, and I popped on location, I might be able to use this to potentially get into their Discord, a paywall Discord or tokenized Discord. I might be able to get into a special event. And so these kind of pops really act as these little card carrying badges for experiences in the world. So yeah, we're launching that at South by Southwest in 3 days or so. And yeah, excited to kind of share with y'all the future of the system.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Rob. And folks, if you have questions for Rob, feel free to share in the chat. I'm going to start with the elephant in the room. I mean, we talked about the kind of the buzzwords. There's craziness going on right now with a lot of people really getting excited about this, and also a lot of people that are kind of skeptical about it and kind of raising concerns and things like that. How are you kind of navigating this whole craziness that is happening right now?
Yeah, for sure. I think the idea of being able to experience something in the physical world has always been an anchoring point, where someone can actually relate that back to, if there was a really nice art piece on the beach, or maybe some kind of subversive artwork that's in a funny location, such as the White House lawn. We can all kind of think about that as being something that can add value to the narrative or to the cultural experience. And so, fortunately, we really try to build our system so that it doesn't seem too blockchainy, or the idea of the discovery app is very easy for anyone to just jump in at any point in time without having to be like a crypto native. So I think it's a transformational technology, but I think if we get too far into the weeds of the semantics of blockchain technology, it'll be really easy for everyone to kind of dismiss it. But I think I hope we're doing a decent job of trying to make it more mainstream.
Yeah, I think the AR angle is obviously what separates you from a lot of the hype out there. You kind of make the NFTs more approachable, more reachable, something that you can actually see around you in the real world. It's not just that liquid money that many people think about it. So I see some questions coming up in the chat, but one quick question. So how do you see people using the map to kind of find things? What's kind of the typical experience that you would expect to see?
Yeah. So the immediate experience that will be available is you'll be able to have a digital piece of content appear in the physical space as an AR piece. So Pokemon Go-like, if you will. In the future, the map will act as more or less you can, there's gamification elements that we can create into it, such as scavenger hunts, such as specific gated experiences based upon what you've collected. So if we're taking in the time data of where someone goes, the location, the content experience, and then what they have in their wallet, to be able to create, access or permissioning. So if you went and so for example, if you saw Jordan with his last shot with the Bulls, and you were present, and you popped that, and there's a proof of that that's on chain, you could potentially take that credential, and if Nike were to do a Jordan drop, you might get preferential treatment to be a part of that Jordan drop. So there's these different ways that we can kind of use this check-in system to be able to kind of prove that, hey, I was there at that place and that time, and I existed at this event, which can have some pretty fun lingering effects for artists and brands and culture.
Nice. So David Ross is asking a follow-up question. So when people get near to or close to an NFT, do you think they would want to see push messages about what's around them?
I definitely can see that. We have in the system where you can leave a message. We don't necessarily have it so that it's gated by geofence, but it is gated to the NFT that you're experiencing. But we do want to add in more tools. So you might be able to only acquire NFT if you go to that location, or you might be able to click a generate button and it adds a whole new reflection map because the weather changed, or there's these different ways of making it more dynamic when you're on location that can make it more fun for both the publisher and for the audience member.
Very cool. Philip is asking, does POP have a temporal element? Can you limit by having been in a location at a specific time?
Yeah, and that's the beauty of the blockchain, is that it's all temporal. So we're kind of so one of our first cohorts of creators that we're working with are street artists, and street artists, they might work hours on hours on a mural, and then all of a sudden someone tags right over the top of it. And so the idea is that what they use our system, they can do, they could take Polycam and do a LiDAR scan of the wall. They could mint it through our system. They can upload it and then basically set that time signature of when that content was uploaded to the map at that location. And now we have a record of that wall, of that content that was there. So as more artists, graffiti on top of that or create murals on top of that, we almost have this like spatial archive of content that lives in the world. So the temporal aspect of this is key. And since it's all on chain as well, anyone can reference that data to build their own applications on top of it. So if someone wants to reference the location, the time, and the content experience that was seen by someone in the world, they could basically take all those points and then bring that into their own VR gallery. And now it's just a street art gallery of this one wall through all the different iterations. So you can have other businesses be kind of built on top of this system.
Really interesting. So I guess you're saying you're launching this in Austin next week?
Yeah, we're launching it on Friday. So we're setting it up where if anyone goes to any of the mural installations or any of the digital art installations and they use the POP system to check in, the POP it's basically a golden ticket to come to a secret party we're throwing on Sunday night with a bunch of artists, and it'll be really fun.
So what are you most excited about this launch, and what are you most scared about?
To be honest, I'm most excited to actually meet most of my team in person, because we started the business in 2020 and we've been building the whole time, and everyone's located in the States. This is the first time we're all going to be able to get together, and we're all launching it together. And everyone's from across the country. We're based in LA, but I'm just really excited to meet the team and just be able to have a cold beer in Austin after we launch the product.
Yeah, Corona startup, huh?
Yeah.
Kind of the only way to meet is to have a product launch.
Yeah, exactly.
So the question from Scott Clark about audio. You said that you're planning to support it soon. and he's just asking, how come you're not supporting it yet? Is it a technical issue or licensing rights?
Yeah, no, it's technical. Yeah, we have an element of spatial audio that's just not ready yet. But it is definitely in the roadmap, 110%. Would love to have people be able to drop mixtapes, things that inspired them as you're kind of, walking across the Brooklyn Bridge, or, these moments where you can kind of share your mementos with others. So definitely interest. Yeah.
Cool. So as a founder of a young startup, I guess you're what, like 18 months old, something like this, even less?
Yeah, close. Yeah. We just actually celebrated 2 years end of February.
Oh, nice. So 2 years old. What's been kind of the hardest thing that you've faced so far?
Yeah, I think the hardest thing hasn't. It's been bridging both worlds, to be honest. It's really tough to talk about a transformational technology when it's straddling the line of two transformational technologies such as augmented reality and blockchain. So having that conversation with folks about, we're an AR NFT, yada 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 startup, it's just kind of like, okay, that's just way too much for me to kind of go through. So it's really been about just focusing on the utility that we can deliver to the end user and making sure that we are doing that, because then it'll grow organically. So that was really the big focus for us in launching this, is that with the proof of presence, now there's a lot of commercial applications for publishers to be able to feel incentivized to continue to really push the amount of experiences they're pushing into the world.
Very cool. So last question I have, folks, if you have additional questions, please share in the chat. But if we're looking into the future 5 years from now, maybe 10 years, when we're all wearing AR glasses and all the AR is persistent, anywhere we go, we see stuff, we're not sure, is it real or is it digital, right? That's going to be pretty confusing times. And it looks like, you want to be to help all the creators that create this content that we'll see all around, whether it's art or otherwise, right? And at that point in the future, when almost everything you see out there is digital, and owned probably by someone, right? Because if it's an NFT or NFT type thing, then it's owned by someone. How is that going to work? I mean, are we getting to a point where you want to touch or use things and you're not sure if you can actually do it because it's maybe owned by someone that is not making it available?
Yeah, so I think that's where actually this whole idea of the blockchain is so important, because it establishes provenance and the provenance of who can give access and permission to a certain thing. And so our whole system is very keen on making sure that what you're publishing into the world is only coming from you, and that you are the established proprietor to do so. So the way that we're looking at this, especially in a world where wearables come out, is that essentially you'll be able to switch between different maps as if it was like a radio station. You're toggling the radio station. And based upon maybe artists that you subscribe to or friends that you subscribe to, or, if I'm a big Lakers fan, so if I was subscribing to the Lakers map, I might be able to, have a perspective of LA that's very Lakerfied, where I have all the hot spots where there's murals of Kobe Bryant, or I might have special access tokens for when I go to now it's crypto.com stadium. It's interesting, but when I go to the stadium to go watch them play, or so I think what this system, our goal is that this takes away a lot of the confusion of IP and really focuses on creating that trustless experience and flow through this metaverse outside. So I do imagine that there will be, and there's going to be innovations in IP and copyleft and all of these things that can kind of really talk more about community and sharing in with this technology. And there's a whole subsection we could go into about local-based DAOs and all of that fun stuff. But for this conversation, I see this really contributing to a more transparent digital future.
Cool. Looking forward to this future. I think we have last question from Philip for you, Rob, about proof of presence. And I think the question is whether you develop it on your own or you use existing tech.
Yeah, no, I love that question, Philip. And good to see you, by the way. Yeah, it's so proof of presence. It's more or less a standard that we've created. That's an on-chain proof, and so it's available for anyone to be able to kind of use that standard and contribute it. And we could talk about oracles to be able to just display the information for others to use. But really, our kind of broader idea is that there's a lot of different ways that we can kind of have that mix and match of proof of presence with this whole AR creative suite, where we can start enabling applications to start building on top of it. And to go really granular, it could even be, its own version of a slow chain, where anytime someone goes into the world and validates that an experience was at that place in that time, acts like a validator in the network. So there's a lot to kind of play around with, and for others to potentially use or implement with their own projects.
Fantastic. Rob, thank you very much for presenting your company. All the best next week with the launch at South by.
Thank you.
And again, if more questions for Rob, please share in the chat. Feel free to answer there. And we'll switch on to our next speaker.
Thanks, Ori.
Hey, Tolly, how's it going?
Hey, Ori, how's it going?
Good to see you. What are you gonna tell us about today?
I want to tell about our Magic Kids application. The great delightful experience for kids in their education process.
All right, awesome. So take it away, CEO of Magic Kids, Anatoly Shcherbakov. Okay, if you want to share.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Tolly. Let me share my slides. Yeah, I'm CEO and co-founder of Magic Kids. We develop AI-based fun tutor for kids. First of all, I want to tell you how we come to this idea. In the past 7 years, my team and I, we have developed over 100 products, this augmented reality, artificial intelligence for marketing, e-commerce, education. And we noticed that it was in Europe, it was in the United States. We developed a few projects for Saudi Arabia. And now we noticed that our products and projects are more interesting for kids because it's some interactive process. And this is why they started search market about kids education. And they saw that today, many students through 4 through 12 years old only spent about 15 minutes on a lesson before moving to the digital game or cartoon. But at the same time, they spent on average 3 hours on screen time a day. And this is why they thought, why we couldn't create really interesting product, education product for kids. And this is why we built Magic Kids. Magic Kids is educational app. This delightful experience using augmented reality and machine learning technologies in a way that they'll keep kids entertained and, more importantly, learning for hours. How does it work? We have a few experience in the app. First of all, it's about augmented reality experience. You can see in this video slide, it will be a little bit faster. Then kids can play in their own room. They can play these characters. They can play some buildings, create their own cities. And also we have just regular video game experience, such as this video. It looks like a little bit like Roblox. They have characters, we have NPCs in our game. And of course, we have educational process, like this education task about materials, about social science, about math, logic, and language arts. Also, kids can create change appearance for their character. They can make some tasks, and also we have simple augmented reality experience, like such as this one. Then have to collect some letters from on their rooms, and yeah, it looks like Roblox or Minecraft a little bit, but also we use different interactive technologies, such as we merge augmented reality and machine learning technologies in a way that kids can interact and learn from the world they see every day. For example, I show you alphabet game. The app can recognize objects near the child and tell them the first letter of the object's name. After that, kids can collect these letters in one word. For example, they can collect one word like look, and after that they can practice spelling using voice recognition technologies, such as like this slide. This continue our game, and they can practice and they can tell look, and our voice recognition can recognize this word and say that it's correct. And for example, they can collect cook because probably kids find letter C near them. Yeah, it works like that. They have a huge experience in this one, and also these our parents. They have over 100 subscribers right now, and this is Josh and Georgia. They love our app and they use our app every day, and their kids use our application every day. Shortly, where we are right now, we just started. We are like early stage startup, but we already generate first revenue. And actually, I would be happy if you can try our app. With your kids, you can scan this QR code. This QR code through your test light, and you can download our current version. And I would be happy to answer your question. And thank you for attention, guys.
Thank you, Tolly. That's awesome stuff. You know, mixing AI with AR sounds like a fantastic way to help kids have fun and learn. You know, it's pretty close to my heart. You know, my first application in AR in 2009 was actually an AR spelling game. So I'm really excited about this. But I'm actually wondering also about how kids are reacting. I mean, what are some of the things that they're happy about, that they're excited about, and things that they are kind of a bit struggling with? Because I remember, you know, when it's hard to imagine this, but with the iPhone 3, we asked kids to hold it in front of a marker on a table, and you know, it seems pretty easy for adults, especially when you are an AR geek, but for kids can be pretty challenging. So what are some of the challenges you're seeing, and some of the things again that excite kids in the games that you've developed?
Yeah, I can say that in our last version we had just augmented reality experience. Then kids have to create some buildings in their own room and work just in augmented reality. And augmented reality experience was about 80% probably from whole experience. And I can say that they saw that it's really hard for them. It's because they can make a lot of mistakes, and they scan surfaces or something like that. And this is why we changed that to virtual world. And I can say that right now, augmented reality experience is just 20% from the whole experience. But I can say then our application can recognize objects. It works like a magic for kids, and we see that the most popular lessons, it's about voice recognition actually, and object detection. Then they can play this in their room, but they give them sometimes this experience, because they understand that it could be a little bit hard for them.
So, and do you see like a specific age that it becomes easier for kids to use AR? Because I remember, when we were testing it with 4 or 5-year-olds, that was very challenging. But when you think about, a bit older kids, is that what age is it becoming a bit easier for kids?
Yeah, our application focuses on 4 through 8 years old, and I can say that kids that is 8 years old, the augmented reality is very simple for them. They understand what they can do. But for example, for kids is more younger, sometimes it's really hard for them, and they don't understand and ask parents for helping. Also, we have a beta test group. There's different ages. And we see that if kids have 4 years old, augmented reality is a little bit strange for them.
We have the obvious question whether it's also supported on Android.
We are prepared Android, but it's a little bit hard for us because they use some machine learning technologies inside, and they have to transfer that to Android, and we have to spend some time for that. I think after 2 months, probably we will launch Android version as well.
Very cool. So let's go back to the AI and the machine learning part. That for me, it's super exciting when a kid can just walk around their house and the game can actually knows about things in your home. That's at least how it feels. So what? Tell us about kind of a bit about the technology you developed for this, and what other things do you think you could be able to recognize in your home?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the beginning, actually, we tried to we made a picture of it wasn't like object detection. It was like just they made a picture of like a screenshot and tried to recognize objects around or we try to recognize whole picture. I mean, what is it, room, or what is it, table, these chairs, probably. But now, we try to work this object detection, this LiDAR, for example, and this machine learning from iPhone together, and it works better. It works better than just image detection.
So, I mean, but like, what kind of things will you be able to detect in the future to kind of make it part of the game?
I think. Do you mean about machine learning? I can say that. I think that the most interesting would be these some LiDAR technologies, because using LiDAR we can understood some physical shape of the object, and we can understand what is it, for example, using this information, not just image from the camera.
Got it. Yeah, I mean the actual things in your home. So I mean, like recognizing, I don't know, a books or a game or a toy or things like that then you can embed into the game, into the storyline. So the game knows them in the room and everything else in it.
Yeah, do you know, it's like when I was a kid, I liked play these toys and imagine that my room is like a city, and I think that in the future it would be the same experience in Magic Kids. Then kids can create their own city in their room and play these virtual toys and virtual characters in their room, and they can interact with their objects, probably their physical toys, something like that. Yeah, I think it would be a delightful experience for them.
Cool. So totally, I understand you're now launching the VR, some virtual aspect, kind of new parts of the game that are more virtual, less AR. Is it already out, or it's coming up soon?
It's coming up soon. I think the same situation like Rob, it will be next week. But right now it's available in test slides. I can share the link in the general chat as well.
So, is that accessible from the same QR code you showed before?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So definitely put it up for a few more seconds so people can try it.
I can share the link to Test Live right now.
Or the link directly. Yeah, that would be great. I think people will like it.
Yeah, you can use that.
Okay, fantastic. Anatoly, so I want to ask another kind of a bit more personal question about your team. You're kind of going through a weird timing now where some of your team is in Russia and some of your team is in Ukraine.
Yep.
And, you know, they're all part of the same team. And now you're kind of going into this craziness that is happening there. Tell us about a little bit of how the team is feeling, how you're able to still work with them.
I can say this one side and second side that half of my family, one half in Russia and second half in Ukraine. And I can say that the same situation in my team, that we understand that it's just about political, and it's not about all of people. I know that somebody from the people can support all the situation, somebody no, and of course our team, we don't support all the situation. Now we relocate our development team in Kazakhstan. It's Asia. It's a previous Soviet Union country as well, but it's more, how to say, more silent country. Now we relocate there, and but I hope that all this situation will finish soon, because it's really hard for all of us,
Awesome. So listen, I would definitely wish that you and your family and your team stay safe, and this whole thing will be over soon, and we can get back to the stupid stuff we talk about every day instead of this. So really wish that everything will be fine for your folks. Any last questions for Toli or anyone else on the panel? We have a few more minutes, folks. This is the time. By the way, when we used to do these events in person, these meetups, we had an opportunity at the end for members of the audience to come up on stage and say a few words. You know, if you're talking about a project, if you're working on a project, or if you're looking for some partner or anything else that could be relevant to the community. So please feel free to share it here in the chat, or we can even try to invite you on. I see here a comment on your test flight. It also goes to Magic.
Yes.
I don't know if it's a question.
Let me check just a second.
All right, folks. So if there are no more questions, Toli, I want to thank you. Let's bring up everybody else. I think Kahlil actually left. So Rob, sorry for surprising you. Give it up for a fantastic speaker, Toli, Rob, and Kahlil today, sharing their path with a young startup on its way to becoming great and big. So wish them all fantastic success, especially next week in South by. And after that. So thanks very much, folks.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
All right. So with that, we'll wrap it up. Please stick around at AW Live. There's a lot of sessions that are coming up this week and next week. And also the people, just look on the right-hand side, just scroll through the people list and find some people that may be relevant for you guys, and find a match, chat, and have video calls, and take advantage of this platform. This is really for you. So we hope you can actually make use of it. All right. Thanks, everybody. See you next time.
Thank you, guys.
Take it easy. Bye.
Bye-bye.